Hello, my name is Lily.
And my name is Max.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Fluent Hub. I am so happy you are here with us today. Whether you are joining us for the very first time or you are one of our amazing regular listeners, we are thrilled to have you here. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's have some fun with English together.
Hey there, everyone. Great to be back. I was actually on an online meeting this morning before we started recording, and I was thinking, wow, this is the perfect topic for today. Almost everyone has an online meeting these days, right? Whether it's for work, school, or even just catching up with friends.
That's so true. I had 3 online meetings last week alone. 3! And honestly, at first, I found them a little stressful. I wasn't always sure what to say, how to start, how to end politely, all of those things. But once you learn the right phrases, it becomes so much easier and more natural. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Our topic is online meetings, and specifically all the English you need to speak confidently and naturally in an online meeting. We're talking about how to start a meeting, how to participate, how to ask for clarification, and how to close things up professionally. By the end of this episode, you will be able to open and close an online meeting smoothly, contribute to the conversation with confidence, ask politely when you don't understand something, and use real, natural phrases that native speakers actually use in meetings, not the stiff textbook phrases, the real ones. We love hearing from you. So here's a question for you right now. Do you have online meetings at work or school? What's the hardest part for you? Is it starting the conversation, asking questions, or maybe just understanding everything that's being said? Tell us in the comments. We read every single one. And if you're finding this helpful, please subscribe to Talk Fluent Hub right now. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. We put out new content regularly to help you speak English more naturally, and we love having you as part of our community. All right, let's jump right in. We're starting with the basics, how to open an online meeting and get things started on the right foot. Let's go. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. Imagine you are the one running the online meeting. You're the host, the organizer. The meeting time arrives, people start joining the call, and now what do you say? This is actually where a lot of people freeze up. They don't know how to officially begin the meeting in a natural way.
Right. And it feels awkward when there's that silence at the beginning, doesn't it? Like everyone is just staring at their cameras, waiting for someone to say something.
Exactly. So let's fix that. The structure for opening a meeting is really simple. You want to, 1, greet everyone. 2, check that people can hear you. 3, mention who is present or if you're waiting for someone. And 4, officially start the meeting with a clear opening line.
Let me give you some real phrases for each of those steps. For greeting everyone, you can say, "Good morning, everyone," or "Hi, everyone, thanks for joining," or "Welcome to today's meeting. Great to see you all." You can also say, "Thanks for making the time today. I know everyone's busy." That last one is really common in professional settings because it shows you respect people's time.
I love that one. It immediately sets a warm, professional tone. Now, for checking that people can hear you, this is especially important at the start of online meetings because tech issues are so common. You might say, "Can everyone hear me okay?" Or, "Just checking, is the audio clear for everyone?" Or, "Let me know in the chat if you're having any trouble hearing me."
And sometimes you start the meeting, but not everyone has joined yet. In that case, you might say, "Let's give it another minute or 2 for everyone to join." Or, "I think we're still waiting on a few people." Or, "We'll get started in just a moment. I see a couple of people are still connecting."
Those phrases are so useful. And then when you're ready to officially begin, you can say, "Okay, let's get started." Or, "All right, shall we begin?" Or, "I think we're all here. Let's go ahead and get started." You can also say, "Let's kick things off." That's a really natural, informal expression that means let's begin.
Oh, I use "let's kick things off" all the time. It sounds casual, but still professional.
can you try saying that out loud right now? Let's kick things off. Go ahead, say it to yourself or to someone near you.
Great practice. Now, what if you're not the host? What if you're just a participant joining the meeting? You still want to say something when you arrive, right? You can say, "Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm a little late," if you arrived after the meeting started. Or just, "Hi, everyone," with a wave if you're on video.
And a little tip, always say something when you join, even if it's just a quick hi or good morning. Silence when you join can feel a bit awkward. Just a simple greeting lets everyone know you're there and ready.
Okay, so let's do a quick practice together. I'll pretend to open a meeting, and you try to follow along and join in. Ready?
Ready.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining today's meeting. Can everyone hear me okay? Let me know in the chat if there are any technical issues. I think we're still waiting for one more person, so let's give it just another minute. Okay, looks like we're all here now. Let's go ahead and kick things off. Perfect! That sounds so natural and confident.
Learners, did you notice how she didn't say anything complicated? Simple, warm, and clear. That's the goal. Write one of those opening phrases in the comments. Tell us which one you'd use to open your next meeting.
All right, the meeting is open and people are talking. Now what? This is where a lot of English learners feel nervous. How do you join the conversation? How do you share your opinion without interrupting or being rude? And what do you do if you don't understand something?
These are such real concerns. Let me start with how to share your opinion or add something to the conversation. There are some really useful phrases for this. You can say, "I'd like to add something here," or "Can I jump in for a second?" That one is really natural. It means, can I add something to what you're saying?
Can I jump in is so useful. You could also say, "If I could just add," or "building on what you just said." And that second one is really smart because it shows you were listening and you're connecting your idea to what was already said. Native speakers love that.
Absolutely. And what about when you want to share an opinion or make a point? You can say, "I think that," or "in my opinion," or "from my perspective." These are classic and they work perfectly. You can also say, "I'm not sure I agree with that. Here's my thinking," which is a polite way to disagree without being aggressive.
Oh, that's a great one. Let's practice that together. "I'm not sure I agree with that. Here's my thinking." It sounds confident but respectful. Try saying it out loud. Say it with a calm, steady voice.
Now let's talk about formal versus informal. If you're in a very professional business meeting, you might say, "I'd like to propose that we consider," or "I believe the data suggests." But in a more casual team meeting, you can say, "I think we should just go for it," or "Honestly, I feel like option B is better." The key is to read the room and match the level of formality.
That's such good advice. And here's something really important. What do you do when you don't understand something? A lot of learners feel embarrassed to ask, but honestly, asking for clarification is a sign of intelligence and professionalism. It shows you care about getting things right.
Exactly. And there are really polite ways to ask. You can say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" Or, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you say it again?" Or, "Could you clarify what you mean by that?" All of these are completely normal and professional.
You can also say, "Just to make sure I understand, are you saying that?" And then you repeat what you think they said. This is called checking your understanding, and it's actually a really impressive communication skill. Even native speakers do this.
And if someone is speaking too fast, which honestly happens a lot in online meetings, you can politely say, "Sorry, could you slow down a little? I want to make sure I get everything." Most people are very happy to do that. They'd rather slow down than have a misunderstanding.
Here's your practice challenge for this section. Think of something you want to say in your next meeting. Maybe an opinion about a project or an idea you have. Now, write it using one of these phrases. "I'd like to add," "building on what you said," or "in my opinion." Write your sentence in the comments and let us know what it's about.
Great idea. To review this section, we learned how to join a conversation politely, how to share opinions at different formality levels, and how to ask for clarification without feeling embarrassed. These are skills that will genuinely make your meeting so much more comfortable and effective.
Okay, we've opened the meeting, we've participated in the discussion. Now let's talk about how to manage what happens during the meeting and how to close it professionally. Because the way you end a meeting matters just as much as how you start it.
You're absolutely right. And first, let's talk about managing the meeting while it's happening. Sometimes conversations go off topic, sometimes one person talks too long, sometimes you need to move to the next item. These are all things that need careful language.
If you need to bring the conversation back on track, you can say, let's get back to the main point. Or, I want to make sure we stay on schedule, so let's move on to the next item. Or, that's a great point. Let's come back to that later so we can keep things moving, These phrases are polite, but clear.
And if one person is talking too much and you need to include others, you can say, thanks for that. I'd love to hear what others think about this. Or, let's get some other perspectives. Does anyone else want to add something? These redirect the conversation without making the person feel bad.
Oh, those are so smooth. Here's another common situation. What if there's a technical problem? What if someone's audio cuts out or someone's video freezes? In an online meeting, this happens all the time. You can say, I think you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself? Or, I'm sorry, your audio cut out. Could you say that again? Or, it looks like your connection is unstable. Don't worry, we'll send you the notes afterward.
And what do you say if your connection is bad? You can say, I'm sorry, I'm having some connection issues. Or, my internet is a bit slow today. Sorry about that. Or, I'm going to turn off my video to improve the connection. I can still hear you. These are all completely normal things to say, and nobody will think badly of you for it.
Technology problems are just part of online meeting life. Now, let's talk about something really important: how to close the meeting. A lot of people just say, okay, bye, and leave, but there's a much better way that leaves a good impression.
A good meeting closing has 3 parts. Summarize what was decided, assign any action items, meaning who needs to do what after the meeting, and then close warmly. Let me show you what that sounds like.
So you might say, okay, let's wrap up. To summarize, we agreed on the new timeline. Sarah is going to send out the updated report by Friday, and we'll review the budget at next week's meeting. Does that sound right to everyone? And then after people confirm, you close with something like, great. Thanks everyone for a really productive meeting. I'll send out the meeting notes by end of day. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. And that's it. Clean, professional, warm. Let's talk about some key phrases for closing. Let's wrap up means let's finish. To summarize means here are the main points. Action items are the tasks that need to be done. I'll follow up means I'll contact you again later. And meeting notes are the written record of what was discussed. These are essential phrases. Say them out loud right now. Let's wrap up. To summarize. Action items. I'll follow up. How do those feel? Practice them until they feel natural because you will use them. Here's a mini practice activity. I'll give you a situation and you think about what you'd say. Situation. The meeting is running 10 minutes overtime and you need to politely end it. What do you say? Think about it for a second. You might say something like, I know we're a bit over time, so let's wrap up. We'll pick up the remaining items at our next meeting. Thanks, everyone. This was really helpful. Short, polite, and clear. That's all you need. And one last tip for this section. Always end with positivity. Even if the meeting was difficult or stressful, end with something warm. Thanks, everyone. Great work today. Appreciate your time. These small phrases make people feel valued and leave a good impression.
Absolutely. To review, we covered how to manage the flow of a meeting, handle tech problems gracefully, and close with a clear and warm summary. These skills will make you look polished and professional in any online meeting.
All right, now it's time for one of my favorite parts of every episode: common mistakes. And honestly, I have made every single one of these mistakes myself at some point, so don't feel bad. We learn by making mistakes, and knowing what not to say is just as important as knowing what to say.
Same here. These are real mistakes that English learners and even native speakers make in online meetings. Let's go through them one by one.
Mistake number 1, saying I am agree instead of I agree. This is a very common error. In English, agree is a verb, not an adjective, so you don't need the word am before it. The correct form is simply I agree, or I don't agree, or I agree with you, not I am agree with you. Just I agree with you.
Right. So incorrect, I am agree that we should change the deadline. Correct, I agree that we should change the deadline. Simple fix, but it makes a big difference to how natural you sound. Try saying it right now. I agree. I don't agree. I agree with you.
Mistake number 2, saying please explain me instead of please explain it to me, or could you explain that to me? The verb explain in English needs the word to before the person. You explain something to someone. So you can't say explain me the problem. You need to say explain the problem to me or explain it to me. Incorrect. Can you explain me the new process? Correct. Can you explain the new process to me? Or could you explain that to me, please? That little to me at the end makes all the difference. Write an example of this in the comments. Practice makes perfect.
Mistake number 4, saying I have a doubt when you mean I have a question. This is a really interesting one because in some languages, the word doubt is used to mean any kind of question or confusion. But in English, doubt specifically means you're not sure about whether something is true. So if you want to ask something, you say, I have a question, not I have a doubt.
Incorrect. Excuse me, I have a doubt about the schedule. Correct. Excuse me, I have a question about the schedule. Now, you can say, I have some doubts about the plan, but that means you're uncertain or worried about it, not that you just want to ask something. The context is different. Does that make sense? Mistake number 4, being too formal or too stiff with your language. Sometimes learners try to sound very professional and end up saying things that sound a little robotic. For example, saying, I would like to request that you provide me with clarification regarding the matter, when you could just say, could you explain that a bit more? Natural is always better than complicated. This is such a real mistake. Native speakers are not impressed by long, formal sentences. They're impressed by clear, direct communication. So don't try to sound like a legal document. Just be clear and friendly. The most professional thing you can do is communicate in a way that everyone understands easily. And you know what? Nobody expects you to be perfect in a second language. Native English speakers are always impressed when someone is speaking English as their second or third language. Every mistake you make is just part of the learning process, and you should be proud of yourself for trying. Absolutely. You're doing incredible work just by being here and practicing. So keep going, keep making those small mistakes, and you'll get better every single day. Now, let's do some interactive practice to put all of this together.
Okay, everyone, this is my absolute favorite part. Let's practice. I'm going to give you some situations and 2 choices. Your job is to pick the better option and think about why it's better. You can say your answers out loud. Actually, speaking is the best practice you can do.
And there are no trick questions here. We just want you to feel confident using these phrases. Ready? Let's go.
Situation 1. You just joined an online meeting and it has already started. Do you say option A, hi everyone, sorry I'm a little late, or option B, nothing? Just turn on your camera and sit quietly. Option A is much better. Always say something when you join, even just a quick, hi, sorry I'm late. It's more polite and it lets everyone know you've arrived and you're ready to participate. Silence feels a bit awkward. Situation 2. Someone in the meeting is speaking and you want to add your idea. Do you say option A? Wait, stop, I want to say something. Or option B? Sorry to jump in, but I'd love to add something here. Option B is definitely the way to go. Sorry to jump in is polite and natural. Option A sounds a little rude, even if you don't mean it that way. The word stop in particular is too strong for a professional setting.
Situation 4. You are the meeting host and the discussion has gone off topic. Do you say option A,
Stop talking about that. It's not relevant. Or option B. That's a great point. Let's note that for later and get back to our main agenda. Option B is perfect. It's firm but respectful. Option A is too blunt and might make someone feel embarrassed. In a meeting, you always want to redirect, not shut down. Situation 5. The meeting is ending and you want to close it professionally. Do you say option A? Okay, I think that's it. Bye. Or option B? Let's wrap up. To summarize, we agreed on X and Y. I'll send out the meeting notes shortly. Thanks, everyone. Great work today. Option B is so much stronger. It's clear, organized, and leaves everyone feeling good about the meeting. Option A is fine for a very casual conversation, but in a professional setting, option B is the one that gets remembered. Excellent work! Now here's your challenge. Create your own sentence for an online meeting. It could be an opening phrase, a way to ask for clarification, or a closing line. Write it in the comments. We want to see what you come up with. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. What matters is that you try. Real communication is about connection, not perfection. Every time you practice out loud, you're training your brain and your mouth to work together in English. That's how fluency grows.
Wow, what an episode! I feel like we covered so much today, and all of it is stuff you can actually use the next time you have an online meeting. Let me ask you, how are you feeling? More confident? I hope so, because you absolutely should be.
Let's quickly go over the 3 main things we covered today. Number 1, opening the meeting. We learned how to greet participants, check tech, and officially begin with natural, confident phrases. Number 2, participating. We learned how to join conversations, share opinions, disagree politely, and ask for clarification. And number 3, managing and closing. We learned how to stay on track, handle tech issues, summarize decisions, and close warmly and professionally.
That is so much valuable language, all packed into one episode. And the best part is, this isn't textbook English. This is real English that real people use every single day in offices, schools, and homes all around the world. When you use these phrases, you will sound natural, confident, and prepared. Here's a reflective question for you. Think about your last online meeting or a meeting you'll have soon. Which one phrase from today do you want to try first? Is it, let's kick things off? Can I jump in for a second? Let's wrap up. Tell us in the comments. We'd love to know. And if you want to keep building your English skills like this, please like this episode, share it with a friend who's also learning English, and most importantly, subscribe to Talk Fluent Hub so you never miss a new episode. We work really hard to make content that's practical, fun, and actually useful for your real life. You are doing something amazing by learning English. Seriously, every episode you listen to, every phrase you practice, every comment you write, it all adds up. You're building something real. Be proud of that. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. It genuinely means the world to us that you choose Talk Fluent Hub for your English learning journey. We'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, keep practicing, and remember, fluency isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to try. We'll be right here cheering you on. See you next time.